A severe weather alert has been issued for your area. Please stay tuned as we allow others to get on. We will be live shortly with the latest information. A severe weather alert has been issued for your area. Please stay tuned to get on. We will be with the latest information. Audio test 1 2. A severe weather alert has been issued for your area. Please stay tuned as we allow others to get on. We will be live with the latest information. Audio test 1 2. Severe weather alert has been issued for your area. Please stay tuned as we allow others to get on. We will be live shortly with the latest information. Hey guys, AJ Town here live with the T Storm Chasers. We are tracking a severe weather event right now that is currently unfolding down in Yankton County. We are seeing, we're jumping right into this. We are tracking a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and damaging hail. With this, appears to currently be moving in a northeasterly direction until 4:15 Central Standard Time. Quarter-size hail and damaging winds is what is with this. It is moving north at about 10 miles an hour. So the system's actually moving fairly slow. You can see that right here. If we pathcast it here real quick, let me pathcast it. As we pathcast it here, you can see just how slow that it's moving. By 4:30, it's going to reach Highway 46. I mean, it's not too impressive as far as speed is concerned with that. We are watching another little system here just south of the Viborg area that is starting to really grow in strength within the last couple radar sweeps here that we have seen. So there is that severe weather risk that is out with this system as it is continuing to produce some damaging hail and some winds. Now, let's jump into real quick as we are waiting on the latest radar scan. I want to kind of discuss a couple weather events that we have going on here. As we jump into tonight, sorry, wrong scene there. As we jump into tonight, we are looking at an enhanced risk of severe weather. That is a 3 out of 5 for the Rapid City, western portions of South Dakota. And then as you do see that lighter yellow as it goes across the I-90 corridor, between the I-94 and the I-90 corridor truly is what we are looking at. Now that is a 2 out of 5 of the severe risk. And then further northward and further southward, further east and further west is a 1 out of 5. You can see that there in that green area as well. Now the Sioux Falls area is under that 3 or 2 out of 5 risk. As we jump into that, we are going to see that risk coming across through the overnight hours pretty much. We are not looking at seeing a potential of that occurring too much now. We are kind of, again, watching those cells that are down along that Highway 46 corridor If I switch back over to that, we can see. Give me just a second here to get that switch back over. As we do switch back to that, you can see that Highway 46 corridor is where these cells are currently tracking. Now, they are currently suggesting, according to the latest National Weather Service there, they are currently moving in a northerly direction at about 10 miles an hour. So extremely slow moving cells is what we are seeing. We are watching that cell just south of the Viborg area. Would not be surprised if the next couple of radar sweeps, it does grow a little bit in strength. We are seeing that possibility is going to occur as well. Now, jumping back to this severe weather risk for tonight, we do have a tornado risk. That is going to be mostly out in the Rapid City area there. That area in green does go almost as far as Pier, or does go as far as Pier there. Does go just east of the river there as well. Typical area is going to be the west of the river that we're going to see that tornadic threat coming into tonight and into tomorrow, or into this evening and into tonight. We do see that Rapid City area again is under the threat of damaging hail. And then as we do take a look at that winds, that's primarily what's going to be the main threat. However, again, an isolated tornado 2 is not going to be ruled out with this system, as it currently does start to come in to the area. I was trying to get my other radar program up here so then I could watch that. Now, as we go into tomorrow, something I do certainly want to discuss is we do have another risk of severe weather coming into tomorrow. As we take a look at this severe weather risk, that does include the I-29 corridor up into the Minneapolis area, much of Minnesota, western portions of Iowa, a good portion of Nebraska, and then we do go down into the Kansas and Grand Island, Nebraska area there, where we are seeing that enhanced risk again, which is going to be a 3 out of 5 as we go into tomorrow for your 4th of July. Now, as you again back up in the Sioux Falls, Brookings area there, Sioux City, Omaha area, the I-29 corridor, we're looking at a 2 out of 5 for your severe weather risk for tomorrow. Now, what does that include? There is a tornado risk. Good news, though, is it does appear for western Nebraska, northern Colorado, and eastern Wyoming. And the primary threat, though, as we jump into tomorrow, is going to be that damaging hail and damaging winds with this as well. So that's primarily what our threat's going to be, which is kind of a good news for some of the area. But damaging winds can be just as dangerous as what a tornado event is going to be. As we take a look, one thing I want to point out here is, according to the... I'm trying to hit my button. There you go. What meets the severe criteria of a severe thunderstorm? 1 inch in diameter or greater of hail, and winds 58 miles per hour or stronger, and a tornadic event is what is going to create a the severe thunderstorm risk there with that as well. Now, again, let's jump back up over to our radar program here as we do continue to track a severe thunderstorm warning, which is moving north at 10 miles an hour, capable of producing damaging hail and damaging winds. Right now, we're at 60 miles an hour, and we are looking at quarter-size hail with this as it continues to push northeastward. Now, as we do switch over to our other radar program, you can see just this line of storms that are popping up and producing. Those will continue through the overnight hours. Again, as we kind of zoom in on this cell down here by that Viborg area is what we are watching. That my slide did not transfer. There we go. As we zoom in here, we kind of can watch that Viborg area and see that cell that is down there that is starting to produce a little bit of a purple-pink hint to it, which is a good indication of the strength of the storm. Let's take a quick look. There we go. there's our hail indicator, and you can see just there is that strong hail just south of Viborg there. You can see, would not be surprised if a severe thunderstorm warning is not issued soon with this cell as it does continue to grow. One thing, let's take a quick look at our velocities. Good news is we're not really seeing much of a rotation with it. Just a little bit there south of the Irene area is what we are currently looking at. Right now, north of Yankton is where we are seeing that strongest severe thunderstorm warning. As we switch back over to that radar, you can see that just north of the Yankton area there. Yep, there was that severe thunderstorm warning that I was mentioning. Was not surprised to see that issued at all. Severe thunderstorm warning was just issued. Latest is going to be 60-mile-an-hour winds and that hail moving north at 5 miles an hour. So, again, these are very dangerous storms that are moving simply because of they are producing heavy rainfall and torrential rains, and they're moving at an extremely slow pace. We're talking 5 to 10 miles an hour to the north is what we are currently watching with these cells as they are pushing their way northward. Now let's take a quick look. If I do pathcast on the newest severe thunderstorm warning, it's not even pulling up any towns because it's more of a rural north of Gayville, south of Viborg there. North of the Wakanda area, we don't expect to see it move into the Wakanda area. We do expect it to move into the Irene area there. Miss the Vollen area. We do expect to see some Centerville area possibly, but that's going to be a little bit. Again, these cells are moving at an extremely slow rate. As we shut things off, let me get things switched back over. Sorry here, I'm trying to get a model set up here for you guys. I do seem to be having just a little bit of a technical glitch, and I do apologize. My weather software has stopped responding, so I do certainly apologize. There, south of the Beersford area is another area that we're kind of watching between Alcester and Beersford. All right, I got my program shut down. Now it's going to open back up. So give me just a brief second here as we continue to track these storms. So give me just a minute. Trying to get some weather software program pulled up here, and I do apologize here. It's not pulling up for me. Oop. All right, sorry to do this here just a quick second. All right, as we are continuing to pull this up here, we are currently tracking these severe storms that are moving in a northerly direction. About 5 miles an hour is all they are moving, so extremely slow moving cells. Would not be surprised to see some flash flooding warnings issued with this as well. Due to that heavy torrential rain that that area is receiving right now. in that neck of the woods with these cells. All right, I got my weather program pulled up here, so give me just another brief second as we are continuing to watch these severe storms, though, track in a northerly direction. One thing we're going to do is we're going to pull up the latest model and kind of see what your forecast is going to be for tomorrow as well. All right, we got to do something differently here. Anyways, as we continue to track these severe storms are continuing, again, to make their way northward. We do see that they are starting to really form a line. They are pushing in a northerly direction. About 5 miles an hour is all they are moving. So very slow moving system, producing heavy rain, torrential downpours, damaging hail, and damaging winds with these. The tornadic risk, I'm not really seeing that with these cells as they are starting to be producing these as they are growing in strength. Earlier, we did go out just for a little bit, and we did see that these cells, what they are doing is they're growing, and then as quick as they grow, they're hitting the cape and stop growing and then just simply dissipate and lose all their convection and energy out of that system. So would not be surprised to see these cells start to drop down in the severity level, but continue. Again, as you can see, these cells are moving in a extremely slow extremely slow direction here. Northerly direction, sorry. We are seeing just a little bit of a rotation back by the Lesterville area, but we are watching that fairly closely. They're south of the Beersford area. We are seeing a great sign of some rotation right on the backside of that here, right about here. Switch back over to our velocity there. You can see that on the back end of that storm is where we are seeing that. Let me pull back up our future scan here. So we take a quick look at that. We'll jump back and see what we are looking. You can see those develop there. They're developing a little sooner than what we kind of expected, moving off in an northeast direction. And then one thing, though, to note, and as we go into the overnight hours, one thing we're going to have to watch, look at this bow echo here. That is a sign of some damaging winds that is going to create a possible derecho and move through the area as well. So definitely something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on is the way that this forecast model is starting to suggest is that it's going to create that bow-like figment with it and move across the state. You can see that as it continues to progress its way eastward. There about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, it starts to move into the I-29 corridor and starts to dissipate. Which is a good sign there. We do have some showers and rain that sticks around in the Nebraska area through the afternoon. And then as we come into the evening there, we do start to see some of those storms redevelop about that 6, 7 o'clock time frame, moving in south of the Sioux Falls area, north of the Sioux Falls area, there along Brookings and down along the I-80 corridor. We do see about midnight there some redevelopment about that 11, 12 o'clock time frame to another tail of development as well. So for your 4th of July, definitely have a plan to be indoors if possible. Definitely have plan B because we are showing some strong indications that a strong storm is going to be producing tomorrow as well. That's going to be our primary threat in this area, is going to be the damaging hail and winds. However, would not surprise us if an isolated tornado occurs. I would not. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. There he goes. Oops. All right. Again, we are tracking 2 severe weather events right now that are moving in a northerly direction. You can see that latest radar sweep did kind of take the strength down out of them a little bit south of the Beersford area there. We are just still seeing that little bit of a rotation with that cell, and we kind of can see that on both radars. But we are waiting on the latest radar update here with that to see if something does pop with it. Otherwise, if nothing pops with this next swipe, I'm going to jump off and have you guys watch for the previous information here. So I am just waiting on the next radar sweep, which we do expect here any minute now. Let me switch to... Yep. See, they took that off of there. That little bit of a rotation there, just west of the Beersford area, they did take off of there with that latest radar sweep. So that is a good indication that we're not seeing any more rotation with that. So that's a good sign. As we take a look at the velocities there, we do see some of the stronger storms. We have a tornado warning. A tornado warning was just issued, actually. Give me just a brief second here. Let's see. Let's get the latest on that. Tornado warning. A confirmed tornado was located near Tabor or 9 miles east of Tyndall. This is nearly stationary tornado, is what we are currently seeing. So we are looking for Tabor. We are near Tabor, so we are right in this area here is where we are looking for that tornado event. Good news is it is rural, so that is a good news area there. We did not expect to see this event happen. This is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. At this point in time, we were live when this did come out. Again, we have a tornado that is on the ground. A confirmed tornado was located near Tabor or 9 miles east of Tyndall. Is on the ground right in that yellow area there is where we are seeing that. That was a confirmed tornado. A weather spotter did confirm it. It is near Scotland. Will be near Scotland around 4:45, so about a half hour. Again, these cells are moving extremely slow. So that is the good news, is that this is moving in a northwesterly direction. So it's going to stay rural. It's going to stay north of the Tabor area, north of the Tyndall area, west of the Lesterville area, and northwest of Yankton. We don't expect to see this reach really any towns or anything because, again, this is more of a stationary system that we are watching. About 5 miles an hour is what we are seeing these cells really move. Again, this is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground that we are seeing right now. Right in this yellow area is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Northwest of Tabor, west of Lesterville, south of Scotland, north or east of Tyndall, northwest of Yankton, South Dakota. And we don't expect this really to move into anywhere except for it'll stay more of a stationary. This was probably just one of the quick little landspout drop or one of the quick little drops. Would be surprised to have this still continuously on the ground. But again, this is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. Right about in that yellow area there is where we are seeing that event. Is just to the north of the Tabor area. Good news is, though, it is rural. So that is the good news with this storm system, is that it is rural. So we're not really seeing much of it going to impact a town. It is kind of a stationary system, moving at 5 miles an hour is all these cells are really moving with this system. Yep, right about in that area is where we are seeing that north of the Tabor, west of Lesterville. With that latest radar sweep there, you guys can just see these cells are not moving at all. As we do continue to progress, look at this line of storms that are creating and moving in a north direction. These cells are moving literally about 5 to 10 miles per hour to the north. It is an extremely dangerous situation, but this would have been an ideal tornado that we would have wanted to been on, simply because it would have produced the tornado, and then it would have been rural and stationary almost. I mean, it's basically out in the middle of a cornfield. Is kind of where this appears to be right now. We don't, again, expect to see a much damage with this, as again it is a stationary. Would be again, we are just south of the Scotland area there. South of 46 is where we are at, north of the Tabor, north of 50 there. Between 46 and 50 is what we are looking at. East of the 25 corridor, there is what we are looking at. And you can just see, folks, this is, I mean, it's moving so slow that our tracker's barely tracking anything. I mean, it's just moving so slow. Beersford, those in the Beersford area, be prepared. You have a strong cell that is moving into the Beersford area. We don't expect to see anything severe as of right this minute with this cell. Does have the capability of producing some small hail, damaging winds with this. So definitely kind of take that with that grain of salt, and kind of watch that kind of close there. Again, we will continue to monitor this system. Again, it's going to be west of the Lesterville area is where this tornado that it would be on the ground is going to be west of the Lesterville, south of Scotland, east of Tyndall, north of Tabor. This is more of a rural area that we are seeing this in. And good news is, though, it is a stationary tornado. It is not moving fast at all. Moving into the Highway 25 corridor is what we are looking at on our other radar program. Let me see if I can get my screen switched here. As we switch that, we can see it a little more defiant on this radar. Right And that area is where we are looking, just again west of Lesterville, moving northwest, northwest, east of Tyndall, north of Tabor, west of Lesterville, and south of Scotland, moving at a very, very slow pace. Nothing to be overly concerned about as far as it going to get into Scotland and do, a huge amount of damage or anything like that. Because, again, this is more of a stationary event that we are seeing with this cell. Now, am I kind of downplaying it? I am just a little bit, simply because of the fact it is rural, it is stationary, so definitely nothing that, yes, it is a danger to life, and yes, there is a possibility and risk with that. But again, one thing we do want to mention, it is in rural counties, so it is not going to impact Lesterville, Tyndall, Tabor, Scotland. It is moving extremely slow with that. Again, as we look further back east there, we are watching that line of storms that are pushing their way northward. We will continue to monitor this weather, and when weather events start to break, we will break in and bring you guys the latest information. For now, we are going to jump off, and we will continue to bring you guys that latest information. Thanks, guys.